All these trailers are full of freight. I'm looking for U580. They're all full of freight. Look at this. See, those in the mirror too. They go all the way around the corner. There's 200 loaded trailers here ready to move. There's a lot of places to work, I'm telling you, man. And you get on that TV and you look at statistics and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's acting like, this, that, and the other. But, I mean, if my trailer is over here, look, I got to move all these out of the way just to get to the trailer. Which I'm hoping it's not. We're looking for U580. There it is, right there in the corner. So we're going to drive around here. We're going to make a loop around this thing. There's my trailer over there. I'm going to hook up to it. I'm going to show y'all. They just bought a bunch of brand new trucks. And, yeah, they'll put you on. And I'm telling you right now, the actual drivers that actually drive, even the ones that quit come back. You can't. I personally, for the way I'm set up, literally cannot find a better job because they got. I mean, here's the employee vehicles. These are the driver's vehicles. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is real. This is Texas on the border. We're over here at Laredo. They got Laredo over at that Pinnacle, and then they got another warehouse, and then they got the I forget the one over there by the truck stops. When you drive down there and you get to that TA, everybody knows where the TA in Laredo is. Okay, there's one over there. There's another one out in the desert called Pinnacle, and then there's two over there. Then there's a little bitty one for cross docking, and then over in McAllen, they got a big yard like this, and then they have 4 of the cross dock places. They got the big trucks, they got the box trucks that pick up the little ones, and all that. I don't mess with all that because I'm like, I'll just make this a 2-part. I ain't going to take time to drive back all the way up there. I'm going to just back into this. But you see where that guy's at? See all the way down there where that blue truck is? All the way to there on both sides is packed full. I mean, they got the freight. It's crazy. And they're getting more. They just got new contracts. That's the wildest part, man. They just got some new contracts. And it's, yeah, they ain't messing around. But, yeah, 3,600 mile average. They apologize for this being a short run because it's only 1,400 miles. So they gave me a $150 bonus. But this, it goes by my house. So I'm able to go by and do a 34 at the house under a load. So see, the load that I brought down, it delivers today in McAllen. So they assigned a local guy for that delivery, which freed me up to come over here and get this. It is tighter than a frog's butt. Go. Positive contact. Tug test. Alright. We're going to jump out and get her did. Put your pants on, Skip. gets out here. We ain't gonna wait on him. That's one thing, you gotta have the little rubber deals. For some reason they take them out. The glide head seals. But even that's a good deal considering. Oh, my lock's in the back. It gives me an excuse to have that tip on my knife. Ooh. See? We're pulling it out of there. Here's the ones that was in the way at the mirror there. But I don't know why they kept park straight. Be a lot cooler if they did. Yeah. They're gonna have somebody deliver that other one. It's supposed to deliver day between 8 a.m. and 4 o'clock. Right down to used batteries. Oh, looks like somebody took out one. 201 got smashed. Yeah, the new ones they're over in McAllen. And they're getting rid of them internationals. And what is that? That looks like a Western Star got squished. I bet that's that dude that backed into the front of the other one. Look at that. Boy, he knocked the shit out of something, didn't he? Let's see, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many that is. That guy walking around, we're going to have to wait on him. This is another deal I don't like, is this nonsense they got going on. See that hole? That's where everybody pulls up and stops. Then you got to take off. You got to drive through it. So you got to blue. Then you want to stop before you get to it, because if you get that hole, you got to put it 4-wheel drive to get out of here. Okay. All right, guys. That's over here at Laredo. If you're over here, if you pull out, you got to look both ways for traffic, of course, but you want to look way down there and see if that stupid train is there. Because if that train is there, take a right to get out of here. It's faster than waiting on that train, because that train it's right before you get on 35. But 35 is just a quarter mile right there. It's real super easy. And then if you're a go-getter, they'll just have the local guys to handle this around here, and you can just keep getting it. And it works out to about 60 cents per mile with your bonus and per diems and all that kind of stuff. But because it's Texas, you don't pay no tax. And then the part that's per diem, you don't pay no tax. So you're getting the fed. Oh, look, I don't have to wait on it. Here's our guard. She's real nice. I like telling her Jesus jokes. Have you been reading your Bible? Why not?
I said it in the truck, but no, I don't know.
You gotta read it. It don't do no good if you don't read it.
I guess because I don't understand it. Like, I guess when I start reading it, I understand what it's talking about.
Well, it just takes a little bit of practice.
You read it all?
Yeah, several times. My son passed away. He was almost 4. I started drinking real bad, went to jail, and then while I was in jail, I looked at every different religion, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, which one's right? And I was talking to a guy. He asked me, he said, which one's the right one? I said, well, they all say just be a good dude and it'll work out. He's like, does that sound right? I said, no, it kind of sounds like bullshit, really. And then he asked me, he said, well, how do you get to God? I said, I don't know. But that Bible said God came to us. So I started focusing on that one, right? And it made a lot of sense to me after I had read it for a while. But it's just like, see, we all have faith. Like if you didn't have faith in money, you wouldn't work. There's no way you'd come down here all day long in this heat if you didn't think money would buy stuff. So you got faith in the money. Then this road out here, there's just a little line. Everybody driving 70 mile an hour. Cars coming at you at 70 mile an hour. There's just one little old line. But you got faith that they're not going to hit you. Or you wouldn't drive. Then you got faith at the green light that they're stopping at the red. Or you wouldn't drive through a green light. So, and then you say that everybody can't drive. You know how people complain? Oh, these people can't drive. So you got faith that the people that you say can't drive are not going to hit you head on because of paint in the street. You got that much faith in that paint, those lines on the road, those traffic lights. Okay, so if you, how did you get that much faith?
Trust, I guess.
Because of everyday use. You drive down the road every day. So every day, then you drive down the road, and then every day you pull up to a red light. How do you stop the car? Okay, so you got faith that the brakes are going to stop. Okay, now it says that, so the point is you can put faith in whatever you want. That's your choice. But daily reading the Bible, you'll understand it more, and you'll put more faith in it, and it becomes more real to you because you're using it every day.
So like reread it when I'm reading.
Yeah.
Chapter by chapter.
Well, what I do is I pray. I say, God, help me, because I don't know what you want me to know. And I just, a lot of times, I'll randomly open it. I have a process I call no read, no feed. So when my belly gets hungry, and I'm fat, so this happens 4 or 5 times a day. Should only happen twice, but I eat a lot. So when I get hungry, I open the Bible, even if it's just a couple of lines. I'll say, God, what do you want me to know? I open it up, I start reading, and then I'll think about it while I'm eating. And then, because that phrase, no read, no feed, that helps me remember. And then the years of reading it. See, my purpose to read it was, my son died, where did he go? Can I see him again? So I was real focused. Like, I wasn't like some willy-nilly, you know, like, dude, I didn't care. I was a 23-year-old roofer. You know what I mean? I was just like, this was like 25 years ago when he died. He died in 2003. Anyway, either he's taking a dirt nap or this Bible's real, because I already seen through the other stuff I was reading about Buddha and all that. That's all bullshit, obviously. And even when I read about how God made the earth in 6 days, well, we got a joke where I come from. They say, what come first, the chicken or the egg? Well, on the farm, you need a rooster and a hen to make a fertile egg, and then the chick comes out of the egg. But the rooster and the hen, they need feed. And then you got to have a chicken coop for them, or there's some kind of land, right? Well, the Bible says that he made the earth, then he made the plants, then he made the animals, male and female of kind, that way they can reproduce. Well, it says he made the whole earth in 6 days. That's a great, big, huge story, but at least it adds up. And then the other people say, oh, well, it took all these millions of years and stuff like that. Well, how did your eyeball evolve without no lungs and heart? What come first, your heart or your lungs? So you had to be made all at one time. And all your processes had to be going. So that means that you had to have a dad and a mom to come together, and then you had to grow in your mom's womb, and then you're born. Like, we see that. That's where babies come from. So it said that God took the dust of the earth and formed the man, and then breathed life into him, and then took from his side and made Eve a suitable match. And then they started having kids. So that's a fantastic story. I get it. It's hard to believe, but at least it adds up. You know what I mean? So like common sense and math is why I believe the Bible. Because these other things that I read, you know, it's just, it don't make no sense. And then with some of the stuff that you'll see in the Bible, because it's a different culture. So like they were very, they were like on farms and stuff, right? So like, did you ever raise any animals or anything like that growing up?
Dogs?
Okay. Well, in the city, it's a little bit different. But when you're in the country, it's a pain in the neck to get up and take care of the animals, and you have to take care of them, and you care about them. So when it's talking about God's a good shepherd, okay, so like a shepherd, if you hire somebody to take care of your animals and a wolf comes, they'll just run off. But if they're your animals and you love them, you'll fight to the death to keep that wolf away from your dogs or your cows, lambs, sheep, whatever like that. So when it describes him as the good shepherd, see, the good shepherd has to take the animals to where the water's at, to where the food's at and stuff like that, defend from the bad times, and then create some kind of shelter for the storms and stuff like that. And then cut the wool off of them, all this kind of stuff, all the stuff that a farmer does. And if you ever actually do that, even just like taking care of a horse or something like that, you'll find that it's quite a bit of work, but it ain't all day. You know what I mean? And then that which frees you up to have a regular job or whatever. Anyway, so I come from a homestead farm out in the middle of nowhere. So we had pigs and goats and sheep and stuff like that. Not a bunch, but just like one or two of each one, and we'd raise them up, and then we would slaughter them, and that was where our food came from, because we didn't have no. It was a big deal to go to town. It was a big deal. Like we'd go to town like twice a month because it was so far. So we had to have a list and all this kind of stuff. So I grew up real fast. Like I was working like a regular man when I was about 9 years old. You know what I mean? So later on in life, when I came into the cities, because my dad was a truck driver, so he was gone. So he would say, "You're the man of the house," and he would leave. And then I just had to trust what he told me. Well, all them years later, here I am hurt and distraught, and my son's gone, and I'm sobering up, and I'm in jail, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm reading this book because I'm just like, if it's real, I want to go. I just want to see my son. So I was reading with a real intensity, and then I found so much good. Me reading the Bible did so much for me, and it's blessed my life so much. It's like the biggest deal for me in my whole life, more than my wife and kids, more than this job, more than anything else. And I want you to have that because it's cool. You know what I mean? And I want everybody to have it. And if we all had this outlook on life, how great would the world be? Yeah. So this time around on Earth, it's like a proving ground to grow and learn. But it says that this Earth is destroyed by fire, and He makes a new Earth. And you'll hear people say, well, if God's real, why does He let bad things happen like war and murder, theft, and all this kind of stuff? Well, on the new Earth, He don't. So that's where the high standards come in. Because this is the proving ground, a chance to figure it out. And it says we all die, but it's the second death you got to worry about. Well, the second death is like, how like if you trim your trees and you got a bunch of limbs left over that ain't no good for nothing, you just pile them up and burn them, just get rid of them, right? Yeah. And then that's what hell is. They just, if you're worthless, they just throw you in hell. And then if you're worthy, like if you grow and mature into Christ likeness, and Jesus died for you and everything like that, He covers your sin. Okay, so there's a law called the law of atonement, because God can't lie. He has to be honest, and He said the wages of sin is death, and sin is not doing it the way He said to do it. So that law in the Old Testament, they call it the Torah. That's how to act appropriately while you're on the earth. So if you learn that and you just try, you're going to mess it up. But Jesus covered that, so that's grace. So as we work appropriately, we're under grace, and that gets us to the new earth. The new earth, there ain't no death. There's no stealing. There's no war, nothing like that. And we live there forever with Jesus. So right now, my life is great. And being able to talk with you and stuff, this is awesome for me. You know what I mean? But it's for you. And I hope that it encourages you to read the Bible, because I want you to tell all these other people around here, because that's the way it works. It's like a pyramid scheme. Kind of. It's way better. There's no downside. But when we do that, it says, love God and love your neighbor like you love yourself. And by doing that, you'll fulfill the entire law. That's like the root of it. It's like, do unto others as you'd have them do to you. That's the golden rule. But if you get curious and you read more into it, because it describes our relationship to Christ as a marriage. So if I'm married, I'm gonna know what kind of flowers she likes, what's her birthday, and all this other kind of stuff, and I want to hang out with her, right? So it's the same thing with Jesus. In a way, it's like a parable, right? So I want to know what's important to him, and why is that important? You know what I mean? So if he says do it like this, do it like that, and our culture's different, I got to do it his way because his way is best for everybody. And I trust him because I've had so many years of relationship with him. He just comes through over and over and over and over. So now, like, if there's a question about something, like, I'm not even worried about it because I just trust God. You see what I'm saying? And that gives me such a peace inside. You know what I mean? That I don't care what they say on the news. I don't care what they say, the stock price of whatever. And, you know, people get worried. Yeah. And they're like prepping for nuclear war. I don't care. When it's time to go, I'm going to the new earth. I get to see my son. Kill me, you're doing me a favor, right? You know what I mean? And there's a freedom in that. There's a freedom that and a peace. To quote the Bible, it says there's a peace that surpasses understanding. I say it like this because I'm a redneck. It's gooder than good. Like, it's so good you can't even fathom how. Like, the best thing you can think of, it's better than that. Which is awesome. I think I need some of them trip sheets. I'm almost out. You got any? I need to get a handful. Okay. Why is it beeping? Oh, the headlights. I don't know what it's beeping. I hope I'm talking like that. Oh, sweet. 31 minutes on the dot. Oh, we're still recording.
By Pfizer.
School is back in session, and so is tax-free weekend. But at Aussie in the